All right, welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, we're talking about my favorite thing, sound systems. So if you've been watching the Silverado build, we got pretty much all the exterior done and 98-99% of the interior done. We just have to put a couple panels back on, and we've been waiting to do the sound system to do it because the only panels that are off are panels that are covering speaker installation and then the dash for the head unit. So I have all the stereo equipment in and ready to go be installed. So if you see here, I got Alpine head unit, NVX components, 4x6s for the rear pillars behind the front seats, 6.5 components for the front doors. Actually, they're 4x6 coaxials for the rear pillars, 6.5 components for the front doors. I have a micro size 4-channel for the that I'm going to be stuffing into the front center console. Also NVX product. I like a lot of these micro amps. As you can see, it's super small, pretty much almost the same size as your average cell phone amplifier, pretty much same size. So these are very powerful. A lot of the major brands, Alpine, JL Audio, this and that, make a lot of micro amplifiers nowadays that you could sneak into a lot of smaller spaces, and they put out a lot of high wattage, clear, crisp sound quality, everything. NVX is another brand that actually has equal quality and everything, and I've used them before and like them. So again, this will be a good amp that we could stick in that center console. I'm going to probably toss it underneath the cup holder area, so this way it tucks away. Again, we're dealing with a regular cab, not an extended cab or a crew cab, so it's not a lot of space. I don't like stuffing them underneath the front seats since they do slide back and forth, and you do have to watch cables being snagged or caught or hit. So I like to put them somewhere where there's not going to be a lot of movement. So that'll fit perfectly underneath the center console. License plate frame with backup camera. They'll work with the Alpine head unit, capacitor, and then again I got matching wiring, 8 gauge and 4 gauge wiring kits. Also, to anytime you're doing installs like this, you're going to want to get quality wire. Make sure it's as pure copper as possible. It's hard to find pure copper nowadays. A lot of them are either aluminum with copper tinned aluminum, stuff like that. It's not really good metal, not really good conductive metal. In the old days, you always could find copper, and nowadays it's really hard to find it. So a lot of the wire nowadays is really junk. So try and find as good quality, nowadays try and find as good quality wire as you can. Don't skimp on your wire, especially, I mean, if you're just doing a little 2-speaker off the head unit, who cares? But if you're doing amplifiers and higher wattage you're pushing, invest in your wire. Make sure that you have good, as pure copper as possible. Decent. This is decent. I'm not saying great. This is decent quality wire. There is better than this, but I definitely did not skimp on wire. I didn't get the cheapest wire you can get. I got good quality. Like I said, this is decent. As far as the components and amplifiers, speakers, head unit, this is all good to very good quality. I'll have links down below of everything that I'm installing. Also got a Rockford Fosgate self-amplified subwoofer, wedge shape, that is a 12-inch that will stick behind the one of the front seats. Again, like I said, it's a regular cab. We're dealing with a small footprint, but I do want it to sound crisp, loud, and have nice sufficient bass. Something that you can hear outside the vehicle, but it's not going to be something that's knocking your socks off from blocks away. But it is going to be something that when you pull up, somebody will hear you, and it's going to sound nice, crisp, and have beat to it. So this will be perfect for the small footprint that we have. So if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe down below, and let's pull this truck out and start installing everything. All right, so the first thing I want to do is find a home for the amplifier. What I was mentioning earlier is I want to put it underneath the cup holder. These cup holders pretty much snap out. You start prying on them, they should unclip. There you go. There's plenty of space in here. There's plenty of room in here underneath the cup holder, or even all the way down on the floor. Still got the factory harness from the center console that's not actually being used. I could tuck this away and sit this actually on the floor. The other thing I want to pull is this. That's why I left this out. We're going to toss the head unit in here. I'm going to run my RCA cables between the head unit and the amplifier, and then I'll run my front speaker wires up here and then out to the doors, and then my back speaker wires from down here through the back of the center console. I'm just going to cut a slit in the carpet, run a fish pole underneath the carpet, and then out to that pod and that pod. So that's why I still left the carpet loose in the end. This way I can lift it, grab my fish pole, and grab the wire. So it should be a fairly quick and easy install. So let me pull this panel. All right, so that's out of the way. This way we have full access between the two sections. So let me pull those. Let me start fishing my speaker wire between here and here, and actually my power and ground wire, because I'm going to put a capacitor back behind this seat. So I'll pull my power and ground wire and my speaker wire from the back to here, and then I'll then pull my speaker wires from the doors to here, and then we could just set the amp here, and this will be done. I'll run my remote wire and RCA cables from here to here, and then just permanently mount the amp. All right, so I'm going to run the speaker cable down the pillars, around the sills, and up to the front. On the pillars, I use Gorilla duct tape. I use this basically to hold it upright. You'll see me use it on the VW Bug. You'll see me use it on a lot of the classics. This sticks to inside of metal and behind where you put any panels amazingly. So I recommend this for any installs. All right, so I got all my rear speaker cables past rear power. I ran my RCAs with the remote and everything nice and tucked. I drilled 2 holes so that they're able to pass through the back here. Nice. I'll be able to toss this panel in, tuck everything to the side. Everything will fit good. Everything tucks in through here. Amp sits in here nice. I toss the RCA adapters on, or they take plugs basically. Since it's a mini amp, it's not like high to low converters. It's basically just little plugs that plug into it. It's still basically a full low level input. It's not a high to low converter. And then your RCA, I mean your speaker level outs plug in too. Again, just because it's a mini amp and it's a small footprint, this is the way they have their actual inputs and outputs. So everything's plugged in, everything fits in here really nice. I will give you a nice close-up once we get everything wired up, but it sits in here on this top shelf. Power wire will plug in real good. Remote. Your RCAs will plug in nice, and your speaker wires will plug in really nice. I just got to run now my front speaker wires. Then I'll zip tie all this stuff finally perfect. 4-gauge to the back. And ground for this. One more remote and RCA to the back for the subwoofer, because I just got the front and rear channel going here. So one more RCA to the back, remote for the sub. The 4-gauge to the capacitor, front speaker wires, and then basically we could just put in our speakers, set our sub and our head unit, and we should be done. Button everything up, test it out. It's already about 6-7 o'clock right now. I'm going to wrap it up because it is going to start to get dark. We'll start back on it early tomorrow, and we should have everything all installed tomorrow and be done with this. So be 1 more minute for you guys. It'll be tomorrow for me. See you. All right, so yesterday we got the amp situated in the center console, ran speaker wires to the rear, front battery cable from where we're gonna have the rear capacitor to the front. Today, basically, we need to get the front speaker wires ran to where the front amp is, and then that's pretty much it for the front amp. Then we could go on to installing the speakers and then the head unit. So let's get this front speaker up pulled. So these pretty much clip in. Looks like this one's already loose. They're supposed to be snapped in. But yeah, it's supposed to be snapped in. You just pull it out. There's a clip in the back. Press that. Unplug it. Set this off to the side. So, being that this is a basic work truck, you could just pry the rubber boots off. Pop off like that. Same thing on the inside. pop off like that. So basically, like I was saying, since this is a work truck, the inside of this rubber boot's pretty empty. The only thing running through here was the speaker cable from factory. These doors had nothing else, so there's a lot of real estate. Somebody did run another pair of speaker cable going through it for the door lock actuator that they added for the alarm. So we're just going to run one more speaker cable through it for our 6.5. Now, although it's a lot of real estate and it's should be fairly easy, this is rubber. It's not torn, it's nice and pliable, but it's grippy and it's not a straight shot. So what you can try and do is maybe shove something straight through it, and again, try not to puncture any of your existing wire. So I got that right there. You can tape this on there and then pull it through. You can see we're already at the bottom now. Give yourself however much slack you think you're gonna need. I think that should be fine. Now, if you have a fully loaded Silverado, Tahoe, Sierra, Denali, whatever, of course you're not going to have as much real estate, but either way, the same method will help you be able to slide additional wires through the existing rubber grommet. So you'll slide this through the door, snap this back in, slide this through the pillar, and snap this back in. There you go. And if you need to adjust it back and forth, you could still adjust it. And that's it. So I'll run this basically to the center console, and we're pretty much done. Next, we'll start installing our speakers. All right, so we're gonna install the passenger side 6.5 in the door. I'm gonna use a rubber baffle to basically provide some sort of insulation and help give it some sort of background. It's not going to be perfect because it's not fully enclosed, but it'll help a little bit. And then it'll also help front and back. Since it has a lip, it'll actually help give me some sort of seal between the door panel and the speaker to prevent the sound traveling between the door panel and make it come actually out the door panel into the cabin. So both ways. So let's first crimp on our wire and connections because we have a indoor passive crossover, which I'm probably going to sit somewhere in the door. I'll probably put some padding, zip tie it somewhere, or mount it somewhere in the door. So this wire will go into here, and then we'll have another wire that's actually going to go straight into there. All right, so we got the door speakers on. Now it's time to do the rear pillars. Again, using NVX on this one's coaxials. We did components in the front. Doing 4x6 in the rear, which is a factory size replacements. So same thing. GM basically has these things clipped in. So basically depress the clip, they come out. Unplug them. And that's it. We're not using any of the factory wiring, so you could tuck this behind. We ran our cabling yesterday. So pull this through. There's already a factory hole for it. That's the same place that the factory ran theirs. We'll plug this in. Good thing about a magnet, stick it here while I grab my tape. Again, I'm going to wrap the terminal like I showed you in the front. And I grab maybe about like 2-3 inches. Cut it. Again, I'm just wrapping the positive negative terminals. This way, if they do happen to either come loose, it'll help keep them on. You see me as pressing them on. These spades were definitely not loose at all. But also, since this is going in a sheet metal enclosure, if they just so happen to make contact or whatever, it helps insulate them. If the plastic insulators over time come brittle, come loose, slide down, and that was actually close to sheet metal, I mean, this basically keeps all that intact. So again, this basically drop into place, but I'll sit it here until I could climb in here, sit in place, hold it with one hand. Again, I'm going to do the same thing, pre-drill my holes, and then sheet metal screw it in. The reason I do pre-drill my holes is you're not sitting there wobbling, putting a lot of pressure on it. You could just go straight in with a sheet metal screw. Nice and clean, everything's flush, good to go. All right, so now that we got the amp, speakers, most of the wiring pretty much done, time to start looking at the head unit. I got the RCA cables and the remote wire ran. Whoever did the former head unit hacked the factory wire harness. On most modern cars, I like to use the plug-and-play adapters for them. They work really great. I've been using them for years and they work amazing. I don't like to hack up the factory harnesses. I mean, I've been doing stereos for over 30 years, and yeah, I could splice into a factory harness, but most of the aftermarket plug-and-play harnesses are amazing and there's no need to. Plus, with a lot of them, you could keep such things as steering wheel controls. This is a basic truck, it doesn't have that, but you could keep the factory chimes and other things like that. The other thing is they did a nasty job, and even things like they have one of the wires right here that's going to the stereo, running all the way down and going into the light switch. They have another wire going Lord knows where, but it's nasty work. So we're gonna get rid of all this first. I know right off the bat I don't need any of the speaker wires, so I could cut all those. The aftermarket radio that they had in here had two harnesses, one that basically provided power and one that provided speaker wire, so I could pretty much cut all the speaker wire, tape that, tuck that back, and then I'll look at all the ones that provide power, ground, accessory, and start probing for those, bring in our harness and start splicing into that and make this bird's nest look nice and neat. So let's start taking out the junk and making this thing look appealing. The other thing is too, I pulled this cup holder and I put a little hidden switch in it. Whenever I'm doing aftermarket sound systems, something, I like taking my cars to cruise nights, shows. I'm in California, we have a lot of drive-ins. I like basically an accessory switch to override the accessory button in the key and be able to turn on my head unit without having to put my key in ignition. So with the switch, I can actually turn on my head unit, which would in turn turn on my amps, stereos, and this and that, without having to have my key in ignition, without having to, with most modern cars, it's going to turn on your headlights and any other accessories. For those of you that have keyless entry, that would also trigger a timed response, meaning that your head unit's going to turn on for a convenience period of time, maybe 10-15 minutes, and then turn back off. With this, again, you just turn it on and your head unit itself is only on, nothing else, and you're not draining your battery of anything else, and you're not blinding people if it's at night and you're at a movie theater, a drive-in. Your headlights didn't just basically wake up everybody and turn everybody, blind everybody else. And you basically, you have your radio only. So that'll basically go in here, fit like so. And, it's convenient. It's stealth. Nobody else will see it. So I like always hiding an accessory switch that will operate my stereo system independently. So we'll toss that in while we're doing the head unit. So let's start getting rid of this bird's nest right now. All right, time to toss in the head unit right now. I'm using a Metra 992011 kit to install it in the dash. And again, we're using Alpine ILX W650 doubled in head unit. So let's start with getting what we need out of this kit. So I know I won't be needing the pocket. Alright, so that's pretty much the DIN cage install with the kit. I like a lot of the newer head units. I don't know if you guys remember in the old days, basically a double DIN would have been the full length and you pretty much have to cram it in there. Now they're so tiny, basically you got tons of space for all your cabling and wiring. So yeah, let's toss this in. Basically it'll be plug and play, plug in the harness, plug in the antenna, plug in our RCAs. I have all the RCAs labeled, so let's get that started. Alright, so that's in, and with our accessory switch we can actually test it out. Should power up. There you go. I got the fuses out on the amps, so let me toss fuses in and check for sound. So right now it's time to toss in the pre-amplified sub box. So it's a 12-inch Rockford Fosgate pre-amplified sub box. Everything's self-contained. It's a wedge shape. So basically it fits nice and compact behind the front seat. Clears the center console. So pretty much just slides into place perfectly. I do want to clamp it tight against the back of the cab. So I have some L-shaped brackets I'm just going to use on the back of the cab and on the top, holding the top, and then our back panel will actually kind of cover them, and since they're black the top part will blend in so you won't see them. Our harness is right here that plugs in, so it makes for a quick easy setup. If you want to pull it off, just basically a couple screws on the top and unplug it and then just pull it straight out. So let's just slide this in exactly where we want it and just put in the two top brackets and plug it in. Alright, it's nice and tight. It's not going nowhere. Alright, so everything's pretty much installed. Front panel's back on. Head units in. Looks nice. I still need to toss the cup holder in, but you can see everything's nice and tucked in here. I'm leaving this out just because I want to still dial in this amp a little bit more, as this way I don't have to keep taking in and out the cup holder. Once I drive it around for a little bit and dial in the amp 100%, I'll just toss in that cup holder. You can see now that all the panels are in, how that ACC carpet kit fit. You can see it fits really nice. You can see basically back here, fits real nice. I'm gonna just zip tie and tuck these wires in. But this is the fitment of the rear sub. And you can see it fits nice behind the rear console and underneath the back panel. And again, the fitment of the ACC carpet kit. Again, like I said, fits pretty much exactly like factory. I have the cap on the other side. I'll run around there, pull the front seat so you can see it. Again, here's one of those brackets that we installed to hold this subwoofer firmly in place. Here's the other one, and you can't really tell they're there unless you point them out. Let's go to the other side. So on the other side, I just have to connect the rear camera. So I just have this wire to go to the reverse switch, and then just the RCA cables, but they're already ran to the back. So other than that, then I could put on this panel. Other than that, everything's done. You have your tweeter mounted. Same thing on the other door, if you can see over there. Tweeter mounted high on the door panel. So fitment and everything's really nice. Again, I'll bring the seat up. You can see how the capacitor and distribution block was mounted back here. I think it looks really nice the way it's situated. It's all NVX capacitor, wiring kit, and then mixed also with the Stinger wiring kit and stuff like that. So those are the two brands I use for basically wiring and distribution blocks and everything. But again, I'll have a link to everything down below. And again, you can see the fitment of the ACC carpet kit. It's nice the way it fits and molded in. And again, the fitment of the head unit. It's nice, you know, modernizes the dash a little bit. So right now, I'll let you guys hear what it sounds like. Alright, so let's start by turning on the accessory switch. Remember, we installed this right here. This way we don't have to turn on the ignition and have headlights and stuff like that on. So that'll turn on your head unit. It works as accessory. It takes a second for the unit to boot up. Once it's on, I have it on Bluetooth, so it'll connect to my phone. So I'll turn it up and let's see what you guys think.
Sound like a motherfucking alarm clock or some shit, you know. It's alerting you bitch ass niggas that I'm the motherfucking best. Yeah, the prettiest chocolate nigga alive. Yeah, I ain't tripping off another nigga, I be straight. Ain't even got a chance to eat. I seen you looking at my plate. Hey, you know the bitches treat me great. They suck my dick and feed me grapes. I'm on my way to get a bag. Fucking up and running late. Can't let these niggas slow me down for waiting on the label. Had to drop a tape. I used to trip on bitches fucking up, but I be fucking out, so I be straight. Say the hoe, you need to make a movie about you where your motherfucking kid. I tell you, hoe, make a movie, but we probably never going on a date. I'm motivated by the money motivated me, always got my mind on it. I went to jail because I tried to catch a flight and I forgot I had to hide on it. I get this shit so cheap, you think I dropped a ticket, really threw an extra 5 on it. And everything a nigga dropped it going crazy, sounded like I took my time on it. Threw a bag on the table, we thought it was 10 pounds, but I really put 9 on it. And half of them bitches was fake weed, when he opened them up, he gon' hate me. I don't gotta rate bitches, they rate me. Beat a rap nigga up like a man.
Alright, so honestly, I don't know if the quality came through in the camera mic, but honestly, the sound basically went beyond what I was actually trying to accomplish in a truck. I've done sound systems for years, and I always do great quality. I know I was dealing with a small footprint, but it actually came out crisp, clear, superb. I think tweeter placement actually came out really good. I tried to bring it up as high as possible. We got the 6.5 in the factory location, and again, these are components, so they work really good. Again, the 4x6s are in the factory location, and then the 12-inch sub is just basically down here behind the back seat, and then we just have this one amp basically right here, in the center console. So basically a very, very small footprint for a what I consider a pretty loud sound system. Again, you're not gonna hear it beating down the block, but respectable. Just standing outside the truck, it has deep bass, and it's very crisp highs and mids and stuff like that. So it you can hear it basically pulling up, but again, not beating down the block. Again, I hope you like this episode. Tune in for more content. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please like and subscribe down below. And stay tuned for more episodes.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range, cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never ran